to be watching, I hope.
Um, I no.
Okay, because you have the
On the
iPad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll send them the link later.
All right, perfect. So,
Yeah.
Angelina Lane, welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions, the powerlifting edition. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. And I believe, and I'm very honored, your first podcast.
Very much so.
Okay. So we do have a little bit of an audio delay, so we'll work with that. Usually, it seems to work itself out in the software as we continue. So let's get started. Firstly, could you give us just a short introduction as to who you are, and then we'd love to chat to you about how you got started in this wonderful sport.
Yeah, so I'm Angelina Lane. I live in Wales. I'm a dentist. I have a family of four kids. They're all quite old now. The youngest is 18, the oldest is 23. Um, and yeah, I started powerlifting in 2017, quite
Okay,
late. Quite,
sure.
yeah,
So you were a junior when you started. Yeah.
absolutely.
Me too, 100%. Okay, well, how did you get into powerlifting? What was sort of
Oh,
your entry?
um, by accident, really. I started. I used to be quite sporty in school. Went to uni, did some hockey, some rugby to mix it up and have fun and just break a few stereotypes. And then when I got into the work environment with dentistry, it was quite full on. So I just used to do my own thing in the gym, nothing fancy, just
Hmm.
used to make it up. And then had kids, and it was all mayhem, total mayhem. No time, no nothing. It was just chaos. So when they were a little bit older, I think it was when Amber, who's the youngest, was in the nursery of the school, then I had a little bit more time to myself, and I started with a PT just to get fit because my work, being a dentist, you carry so much stress in your upper
Hmm.
body, your shoulders, your neck,
Sure.
your lower back. So
Mm.
started strength and conditioning to just basically get stronger and fitter, and then with that, just the basic lifts got stronger. I felt more confident. It transferred so much, even just the basics of just small increments each week, feeling fitter and better in myself, transferred from that side of things into everyday life,
Right.
into confidence. And then, at that stage, the core lifts, they're all about 35. So squat was 35, bench was 35, deadlift was 35. And I was thinking, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. For a female of my age, that's fine. And my coach was saying, well, I reckon you'd be able to deadlift 70. And I said, no way. And then, a few months later, I deadlift 70. And then it got to a stage where they said, oh, why don't you go and look at a local comp? So I thought,
Hmm.
well, okay. And I just went, couldn't believe it. It was just it was such an exciting, electric, mad first time to just look at the competition, and just thought, no way, no way, I'd never be able to do that. I would never have the courage to stand up and do that.
Sure.
And I never forget, like, oh, just the deadlift and the hands. The hands, the preparation for the hands, and I was like, what's all that? What's all that about? You know,
Yep.
for me as I to stand up and do all of those, those moves, it was just totally out of my comfort zone. And
Mm.
I just thought, no, I couldn't do that. And then eventually I thought about it and thought, you know what? You're how old was I then? I was 40, no, 45, 47. And I just thought, you kind of got to start doing some different things and just making yourself scared sometimes. And that
Yeah,
was my scare.
absolutely. Yeah.
That was the big scare. So yeah, I entered my first comp, and actually Tracy, who I don't know if you've interviewed Tracy
Mm?
O'Callaghan, but you interviewed Dell, and she's best
Yes.
friends with
Okay.
Tracy. She was there at that first comp, and I remember, she was there, and she was giving me some top tips, and it was absolutely rammed. And I completely bombed the squats. I didn't get. I did the lifts, but I didn't get the
The
depth.
depth. Oh.
And I just thought, oh my good god! And then I did the bench, and then by the time I'd done the bench and then the deadlift, I was thinking, goodness me, this is really fun. I'd got into the swing of things by deadlifts.
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic.
and at the end of it, one of the referees, Lucy, came up to me and said, and you should be really proud of yourself, because most people would have left after the squats.
Yeah, that's a
and
very,
I
very valid point. Yeah.
and I just thought, oh my god, that must have been horrendous. I must have been horrendous. But then I thought, yeah, okay, that shows that it just made me more determined to practice and get
Mm,
better, and just you've just got to fail quite a lot of times, haven't you, in order to get better.
absolutely.
And I
Well,
did.
yeah. Failure or getting an outcome we didn't want, but we didn't know we needed.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
How
So
has your
that was it.
squat depth? Oh, sorry. I was going to. How has your squat depth been since then?
Oh, I make sure
Yeah.
definitely make sure, yeah. Yeah, so after that, what happened after that? I just did some
Mm,
local comps, had a few injuries, had a lumbar bulge at one stage, which was
sure.
with sciatica, and that was horrendous. So rehabbed for that. Didn't put me off lifting. I really wanted to get back to it.
Hmm.
Just rehabbed, and then I think that took about 6 to 8 weeks, and then I entered the Welsh Champs, and did okay. Not brilliantly, but did okay.
Hmm.
And then the nominations for the Commonwealth came up for Newfoundland 2019, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And then I got the invite, and it was like, whoa!
Well, we have to do this then.
A lot of
Fantastic.
sleepless nights for that one, yes,
Right.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why sleepless nights?
Well, it was totally out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
Totally, going from just the local ones,
Hmm.
and then being injured, and then that comp was only, it was early days after injury, and then it was an international, after that big injury. So yeah, it was yeah. Getting on the plane, I was thinking, what on earth am I doing?
What
Didn't
what
know.
what have you got me
Yeah,
into?
yeah, didn't know anyone. That's
Hmm.
how scary it was. Didn't know
Sure.
anyone. And at that time, the Welsh team, it was a bigger team than it had been in the past. It was early days. They used to go as individuals, no coaches, and this was the first time that they had a coach, Tom.
Yes.
Um, and it was the most amazing experience. Absolutely
So
brilliant.
that was New Zealand.
No, that was Newfoundland.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. No, geez. The famous late running Commonwealth, where some of the lifting was quite late in the evening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Really late.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what was the experience like for you?
Oh, it was amazing. Absolutely. I was in the warm-up room, and you'd see. Well, no, in the because you've got some nice platforms to train prior to the
Mm, mm.
competition, and as they're stretching, and you'd see the massive Tongans, then you'd see the Canadians, and then you see, and there's me stretching and thinking, oh my God, I'm amongst these amazing athletes. And it was just one of those moments where you think,
Mm-hmm.
I'm meant to be an athlete. And then I remember Zoe, who's Tom's girlfriend, I said, God, there's all these amazing athletes. And said, Ange, you are an athlete. And then I thought, I have got to pretend or think I'm an
Mm-hmm.
athlete. So yeah, that's what I did, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing experience. Something came over me. I went 9 for 9. I
Sure.
did all white lights,
Mm.
and I won it. My section, and it was just an out of body experience. It was amazing, and that sort of you know nailed it for me, and I haven't looked back.
Did that change how you felt about yourself being an athlete? Going 9 for 9, firstly at an international is fantastic, and then winning your division.
Oh, yeah, yeah, completely nuts because it just shows how you can train. You can get strong, but it's only when your mind and that body connects and you
Hmm.
believe that you can do it, and if you get into that zone and you can blank off everything, all those little, you can't do it, yes you can do
Hmm.
it, no you can't do it, you've got to lift this but no you can't, and if you can
Yeah,
blank all that, get into that zone, into that flow state, and somehow I managed to do that, and then it just all worked, and actually I had no pressure.
mm,
I wasn't first on the nominations. I had no pressure on me at all, and I just went in to enjoy it, and yeah, I did.
good. How valuable was it for you having a coach there and having a coach like Tom?
It just made it just always makes the difference.
Mm,
You need someone next to you to well, we had a couple of coaches there. You just basically need somebody just so that you can concentrate
yeah.
on yourself, compose yourself, and you put full trust into the coach. And they warm you up and they tell you, go sit down, go sit down and breathe,
Yeah.
and then they tap on your shoulder, right, come and stand here, you're almost ready to go, and that's what you need. You just
Hmm.
don't want to think about anything, you just want to get into that zone, and then and you completely trust them, and you know that they're going to put the right numbers in for you.
Absolutely. And that's what's so special about the comp. Excuse me. And you spoke about flow state is the less thinking that you have to do, it's easier to get into flow and then just
Yeah.
do what you have to do.
Yeah, yeah. They laugh at me in the gym because when I'm training, I train like just to try and flip myself into that flow state because I can't always get there.
Mm, mm.
So when I'm training, I train as if with the same music, the same flow, and I get myself into a bubble, and they laugh because it's like, Ange, you completely meditate. It's really lovely to watch because you kind of meditate, and then you get the smelling salts, you smell them, and then you go, wow, let's go.
So two extremes. But
Absolutely.
no one says flow can't work with smelling salts. So
They seem
we
to work for me.
absolutely. By the way, who is that behind you? The furry one. Yeah.
Oh, that's Lucas.
Hello, Lucas.
He's
Oh,
my
the ears
he's my
picked up.
best. That's Lucas.
Hello, Lucas. He's just chilling and keeping an eye on you. Or he's keeping an eye on
Yeah,
me. One of the two.
yeah,
So no difficult questions. So from that Commonwealth competition from Newfoundland through to where we are now, coming out to South Africa,
yeah.
what was that journey like?
Um, yeah, it's been it's been a great journey. I've what else have I done? I did Home Nations.
Hmm.
I think it was really quickly after that, 4 weeks later, and then we had COVID, obviously,
Mm,
and then it was quite, with all the it affected everyone so much with dentistry that completely shut down very
sure.
quickly. So I was off work for eight months, I think it was.
Wow.
So used training at home, I carried on training. And then I got invited out of the blue for GB on the
Mm,
back of the Commonwealth results for the Europeans.
okay.
But that was nuts.
Mm,
And then that got postponed and then cancelled, and I thought, oh, that's fine. And then Martin invited me to the Worlds for the Worlds, and I just thought that's even more crazy from going from, that ladder.
Yeah,
And so that happened. That was in Sweden. In
2019.
Was that 2019?
2019
No,
Helsingborg.
that's Halmstad. Halmstad.
Sorry,
So that was
Helmstad. Yeah.
2021. And then we
What?
kind of ran the gauntlet between the
What?
COVID
No, no.
lockdowns.
Was Sweden not? Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, no. I'm thinking of. Yeah, you're 100% right. So I was thinking of Helsingborg was 2019. Okay.
Yeah, no. So it was the year after.
Mm, the
Was it
lockdown.
20? Yeah, 21.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's 21. Yeah, so it was in between those lockdowns. So that was crazy enough because we didn't actually know from the UK whether we would
Sure.
get onto the plane, be allowed to go and get through to the borders. So that was all,
Wow.
madness.
And
But yeah,
that
I
was.
won that one.
Oh, hang on. I'm like a 1970s DJ.
You
So,
are.
but that, I mean, just to talk about that, I mean, those were crazy times. You were having to wear a mask in the warm up area. The referees were all wearing masks. And you take your mask
Yeah.
off, walk out onto the platform, lift, walk out, and then put your mask back on.
It was crazy. I mean, quite a few of the team pulled out because of that. The worry of
Mm,
not actually knowing that if you get to the border, you'll be allowed in. So you travel all that way, have all those ridiculous COVID vaccine, the
mm,
COVID
mm, mm.
tests
Oh,
beforehand,
yep.
and then you get there and be turned away. But luckily, it was all fine. But yeah,
Okay.
it was all post. We were so used to being covered up and
Mm,
all of that. But actually, at that comp, when we actually got in, we didn't have to wear the masks in the warm up room.
okay,
So that
fantastic.
that part that part was okay. But still,
Yeah.
the regular testing and everything was. But it was a brilliant. It was in the Lico headquarters. It
Yes,
was an insane place to have the competition.
sure.
It was
How
just
magnificent are those headquarters?
it was just I know for you know it was great because you've got all the history,
Mm.
the museum of and then the equipment, and it was amazing.
Very, very special place. Yeah,
Mm.
love it. And they
Yeah.
do really good smoothies there, by the way. I think I've got it's up here somewhere on one of these, my Lyco coffee cup from when I was in 2019. So it was a lot of fun. Absolutely love it there. Could go and spend a
Oh,
lot more time there. Sure.
yeah.
How has your mindset changed about who you are, having won these competitions, these international competitions for yourself and for your country?
Um, I'm obviously very proud. Um, yeah, I've worked very hard on trying to get more confident and
Hmm.
yeah, being a better version of myself. And each time, it's funny because it's more the journey
Yes,
to get there than the final. It's all very nice being on that podium, but it's the main thing is that journey and how you grow through that. Um,
absolutely.
and then when you're there, it's yeah, you've won, but then you kind of want to think, well, okay, I've won and that feels great, and how can I evolve and change and grow more, because I think we all have an infinite potential. I don't think we've all tapped all of ourselves, and we can still grow. So yeah, I'm still
There's no
trying to.
real, yeah, there's no
No, you
real,
go.
yeah, oh, sorry. There's no real, it's not, it's almost not real destinations. It's almost like checkpoints along the way of your continual growth.
Yeah, yeah, and it's bonkers to think that, like, my mindset's changed in the fact that say 5 years ago,
Mm.
when you're in your 40s and you think, yeah, I'm getting old, you know, I haven't got much, I
Yeah.
much prime time left, maybe.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like a massive lease of more life. You've got, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm mentally stronger, more confident, much more outgoing, and more more comfortable in really scary situations. So I think it allows you to face your fears and know that you can come out the other end.
Absolutely. And you've gone hunting for your fears. You've gone to put yourself into challenging situations.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, but it's so exciting. I mean, yeah, at the moment, like this year, I had a year off last year, and um, it was weird because I had to then go back to. I couldn't use a previous competition then to
Okay. Yeah.
have that qualify, so I had to totally go back to the beginning. So I had to go back to the local comps, and that in itself was mad because you've got you haven't been on the platform and it feels like you haven't been on the platform for a long time, even though you've done all the internationals, so you've
Mm.
always got that pressure, and then you've got the pressure of you know people watching you and thinking, oh well, she's done this, no, 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 no. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's been it's not, you could think of it like, oh God, I've got to re-qualify again. But I actually thought, no, it's actually quite a good thing to do. It just
Mm.
makes you, go back to the beginning, start all afresh. So
Reconnect
yeah,
with that as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And
and
you.
it's made me,
Oops, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
well, yeah, it just gives a different perspective again, doesn't it? You have to go through. You don't assume that you're good enough. You have to
Mm.
go through all of those loops again in order to get that qualification at the end, if you want
Yes.
to. Um,
And
so yeah.
and you're arriving as like a celebrity. They could title you a guest lifter even at a local comp. If you were going to go back to you in uni or you in high school, what would you say to your younger self about sort of where you are now? What would you
God,
tell yourself about the future?
yeah, that's a really good question, isn't it? I think the same. I
Mm.
think to believe in yourself, to know that you, no matter how scary something is, that if you move forwards and face it, you will come out. You will face it, and you will come out the other side
Yeah.
always. And that you you will evolve, your whole self will evolve in time to and you continually evolve, and not to be afraid of that,
Sure.
and just believe in yourself, and to have big, lofty, mad goals,
Yep.
because somehow, if you have the lofty goals, somehow your brain thinks, right, okay, how are we going to do this then? And
Yep.
eventually, somehow, it works. You get there in the end. For instance, I didn't think I would be a dentist. I was going to do medicine, but I didn't get the grades. So I went to do biochemistry and physiology, did that degree, and
Hmm.
thought I thought of dentistry, but didn't quite think I'd get there. Um, and yet then I did. I got in, and I did the five more years, and
Sure.
got there in the end. So I think if you, yeah, if you have a thought, your brain somehow will move you to that
Yeah.
goal.
And that's the huge thing with self belief. It's just telling yourself to stay with it. Have the
Yeah,
lofty goal, have the chaos, have the,
yeah,
and it's, I think when we're younger, even going back to tell ourselves, believe in yourself. maybe we can also say to our younger selves, you are believing in yourself and it is enough, but stick
Yeah.
with it. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes we think we doubt ourselves. It's hard to believe in ourselves, and it takes
Yeah.
time to push through. So,
Yeah.
if you had told younger you that you were going to win these incredible international competitions, what do you think you would have said to your what would younger you have said to you now?
I suppose to be really proud, but it works. That maybe I wouldn't, maybe I wouldn't if I knew, I wouldn't have
Mm,
the same drive. So I think,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
that would that would scupper me a bit. I think,
There's
um,
tremendous value in the unknown,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
backing
The other,
yourself. Mm,
the other thing is that, like, for instance, when you've got, say, something that's academically hard, or the volume of
mm,
academic
mm,
work, and think that you can't do it, but you somehow manage to do it. It's the same with powerlifting, where you've got this huge volume, or you've got these scary numbers, or you've got these difficult lifts, or you're trying. For instance, I had to just try and relearn my deadlift, unlearn my deadlift,
mm,
and
mm,
relearn a deadlift, and to change, to
sure.
try and teach yourself to try and do that and stick with it, and and your brain just wants to say, right, I just really can't do this. I want
Mm.
to give up. And there's been so many times this year where I thought, oh my god, I can't do this. I've had enough.
Yeah, I just want to go home.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because yeah, my coach Ethan,
Mm.
he's very particular, and I send these videos, and I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy, and then I get a message back. Oh, maybe put your knees a bit further forward, a bit further forward,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, no, no, oh. No, it's I think it's really good to have such an analytical coaching to try
Mm.
and progress.
Because it is those, even if we look at Olympic lifting, where you've had such incredible growth in the numbers on the clean and jerk. Not so one of either the snatch or the clean and jerk has grown a lot more because of the technical development and prowess from those analytical coaches. And I think it's the
Yeah,
same with the deadlift. And these small things make a difference. And when your
yeah,
coach gets to know you anatomically, how your hip joint is fitting in, is working, what's that femoral head length, just from these are things you may not even realize we know, but just those little tweaks that make a difference. And it could be seeing something where something slips, or you move and then something goes better or worse. It's absolutely
yeah,
wonderful. What what
yeah.
what does strong mean to you?
Uh, it's both the physical but also mental.
Hmm.
It's that flow state. It's being able to blank everything else out, and also just to, yeah. It's I would say it's equal. They're equal.
Sorry, more just clearly a sign for more coffee.
Yeah,
The gift of powerlifting, one of the many gifts, is the strength development. In that, I love the fact that we can use physical strength development to develop mental strength,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's linear with the strength gain as well. And
Mm,
then, maybe it's sort of something I'm just sort of realizing now. Maybe it's time for an athlete to step onto the platform. Maybe you made that decision. We've all made that decision in our first competition. It's like, okay, I think the strength training's taken me as far as it can mentally. It's time to up it. And that's why we go to a comp. And, uh, I arrived at my first competition in a t-shirt and cargo shorts and no singlet. I didn't know what equipment was needed, and
yeah,
yeah, it was fun. So we do that, and then as your training and your commitment to the sport affords you the opportunity, you start to step up to those other challenges:
Yeah,
nationals, international, Commonwealth, worlds, and now South Africa.
yeah, yeah. I'm really looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I haven't been to South Africa, so I'm really looking forward to. I mean, that's the other thing. The you get to. I'm. At my age, I'm lift.
Mm.
I am an athlete,
You're an athlete,
and
thank you.
I am an athlete,
You're an
and
athlete.
I got the opportunity to travel to places that I would not normally go to.
Yeah.
So and it's a great way of meeting fellow athletes
Yes.
in many
Yeah.
countries.
It's
Yeah,
such a funny, growing up and watching sort of Olympics on TV or gymnastics or these sports, you think like, wow, they're
yeah,
representing their country. And then
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you get to this and it's like, should I really be here? How, what? Everyone
yeah,
else is great, and I think so many people in powerlifting are looking at everyone else in the warm up area going, look at those amazing athletes. And then,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm lucky to be here. But yeah.
When I was at school, I used to really love sports. I used to do hockey, netball, all of the
Mm.
different sports,
The most
and
dangerous sport in the world, by the way, hockey.
re-
It is, no, forget netball, forget rugby, hockey,
yeah,
forget
oh,
water
it's
polo,
yeah,
hockey.
yeah. And yeah, I always wanted to.
Mm,
Yeah, I always wanted to be really good at a sport, but I got to county for hockey, but then didn't progress it further because of academia
mm,
and
mm.
life and all of that kind of thing. I always wanted to be really good at to be an Olympian. That would have been a
Yeah.
dream. Um, so yeah, it's great that the sport allows for all ages,
Yes.
all weight categories, all walks of life. If they have access to a gym in order to do the sport and have the opportunities to do internationals.
I think that the Olympian is such a good point because I'm going to probably say something controversial, but I have a radio show in South Africa called the Disco Medical Monday, and being mentored by the station founder, Kathy Kaler. She's really good. She just like, yeah, be controversial. It's fine. I think at this level of powerlifting and what I know and what I've seen within the sport, within the competition, within the commitment and dedication of the athletes and coaches, this is Olympic level. The only thing non Olympian is the fact that the sport is not yet recognized.
No, no,
So,
no. The breakdancing out.
oh,
They're
out. Oh,
amazing.
good. I mean, no,
Breakdancing.
I didn't mean that. Sorry, breakdancing, but yeah,
No, breakdancing is out. Perhaps, maybe.
we can get
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
But
yeah,
how wonderful is it that we have stages in our lives where you've got school, you've got university, you've got you know being young, then starting a family, and then building your career, building your family, seeing your family on to their next step, and then that you can still come in and compete at the highest level with incredible athletes. It's
yeah. It's nuts.
unbelievable. Yeah.
It's nuts. It is. But it's almost like I've gone through that blur of that stage of my life, and now I've got a little bit. I've got something for me. I can,
Yeah.
have that maturity now, and then just yeah, reignite an old dream of just wanting to be really good at a sport. And now I've got, I make time for it.
Mm.
I carve out that time. I think if I had my time again, then I would, if with the kids and work, I would try somehow to carve out more time for, especially in the
Hmm.
early years when they were crazy mad.
Yep.
Carve out a little bit more time for myself, and make sure that I would have gone down to that gym, but I was just so tired and it was just chaotic. And I think you also have a bit of a the like the older generation. The at that point was, well, you should, working and having kids. What's your commitment?
Yeah.
It was all, and now it's slightly different. I think people realise, particularly with COVID, that
Mm.
you've got to have some self-care. You've got to carve out more time. Otherwise, it's curtains for you. You've got to look after yourself. It's not selfish. You could be, you're not being selfish if you're a mother, and you actually have some time and make time for yourself and look after yourself.
It's so important that we understand that by doing these things, we can become the best versions of ourselves. And I
Mm,
think, and then we can give everyone around us who depends on us, who needs us, who loves us, the best
mm,
of ourselves. And it could be 15, 20 minutes, no, 50, 50 so let me start it again, 40 minutes to 50 minutes of training, a little with the commute couple of times a week, make a profound difference. Just time to
mm,
switch off, time to connect. One of the things that we joked about doing many years ago with my gym was I was going to start a mom's only gym, but it would be hammocks and relaxing music in a dark. You come in and you'd book a gym session, but you'd have an hour nap in the
yeah,
hammock, you know,
yeah,
to relax. But I think powerlifting would have been more effective. But I think back then,
yeah,
in that time, starting a family and having a career, and then wanting to look after yourself by going
yeah.
to gym, it wouldn't have been. People would have thought it was crazy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would have been, crazy, selfish kind of behaviour
Yeah.
rather than care
Ta-
and
you,
much needed.
it's not self care. You're taking time away from others, which is
Yeah,
just insane.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, going back to the Olympics, I think,
Mm,
powerlifting income, as you said, it has so much value outside
mm,
of the sport, and
yeah,
I don't think another sport like it
there's
where
not.
you get the same kind of benefits. I don't know, but um, and I think because it fills the whole range of sizes and people, the age ranges.
Yeah,
It's such a great sport to incorporate into the Olympics, because the
absolutely.
whole ethos of the Olympics is
Inclusion.
strength, but
Yeah,
strength, but
mm,
mental strength.
yeah.
Um, you know, so, and you'd get a lot more happy people out there.
That's the thing with powerlifting evolved from Olympic athletes who were too old to compete and wanted
Ah,
another form of competition.
oh, I
So
didn't know.
yeah, they took their training movement. So initially it was squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press, which evolved into bent press, where it's sort
Yeah,
of leaning back and pushing up. But that was too dangerous, so they dropped that. And those were the original powerlifting comps. And then
yeah,
just squat, bench, and deadlift, because those were the fundamental training movements. They're also referred to as the dumb lifts, meaning they're far less technically advanced in order to do them safely, where your snatch and your clean and jerk or your jerk press, any of the Olympic lifting is very technical. And I think you need a coach with 10 years or 15 years of
mm,
experience to be able to teach it safely, particularly to kids. But you can
mm,
grow as a coach much quicker on. You can't teach Olympic lifting online, as an example. I don't think that's possible, and I don't
mm,
think it's safe either. But that powerlifting is far more inclusive, far easier to coach, and far easier to spread as a sport. um,
mm,
I was saying to Kaylee, my goal here, we got 25,000 schools in South Africa. There's about 11 to 16,000 that are functioning, and I want to get powerlifting. That's over the next 30 years. I'm getting powerlifting into each and every single school. And I would love to see powerlifting in every school. So imagine
yeah,
if powerlifting was part of the school curriculum in Wales.
yeah,
in Great Britain. You know what that would do for the kids who couldn't play group sports, or were great
yeah,
at group sport and wanted to get better. It is
yeah,
the greatest sport in the world from every aspect, from the community to what it gives you physically, to what it gives you mentally, to the
yeah,
opportunity to travel. It's just
yeah.
phenomenal.
And the if you add a little bit of competition in there too,
Yep.
the euphoria that they get when they've done, it doesn't have to be a big competition, just a local
Yeah.
competition. The feeling of well-being that they get, um, and powerlifting's, in the UK, it's really, becoming so much,
Mm.
it's on a huge path because it's
Yeah.
now in the uni. You've got the university varsity matches, and now it's
Yeah.
become more, it's getting really popular, really. And once you've got the younger guys and girls in, then it's
You know, you
boom.
imagine, yeah, in inter schools where you
Yeah,
have that competition, and I think a lot of the younger generations have really been had a bit of a disservice where everybody wins, everybody gets a prize, everybody gets a
yeah,
trophy, because
yeah,
it's a disservice to those who worked hard and did win, and to those
yeah,
who didn't. Losing is a great skill. I mean, it's a great experience. And coming
yeah,
second or coming third, or I, I was in the Asia Pacific Africa champs. We had the second one here in South Africa, and I was up against a guy who was benching 185, and my peak at the. I've only started competing again this year because my guys have bullied me into it, and I couldn't take the
yeah,
abuse anymore. Um, and it was just, like I was coming in with 120. I knew there was no chance, but there was always a chance, which was a lot of
yeah,
fun. And there's
yeah,
always a chance. But it was
yeah,
like, just to stand up there and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm second. I'm the first loser. So,
yeah,
and it doesn't break you and it doesn't destroy, and you learn that through competition.
yeah. And it's unless obviously this is the way we're going as a team,
Mm,
and it's a more of a team
yeah.
event. But the local ones, it's your own individual. You don't you go into, I find that I get a much better outcome if I just concentrate on what I would like to do.
Mm, mm,
And what I would like out of that competition. What would I be happy to go in, and get, rather than what's going on around me with
yeah.
other, because that just complicates it too much. What would, my goals, and what would I like. But the gym that I train at has just had their first, it's just like a novice competition, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just so lovely. It's just so lovely to see whether, you have got the rules, but they're not like strict
Mm,
rules.
mm, mm.
But you've got totally new people,
Sure.
all ages doing it, and then the high fives, the euphoria, everything. They're just it's just you just can't describe it. It's just lovely to watch. And then when they come off at the end, I mean, I spoke to a few of them and said that, don't worry, enjoy it, just breathe, just go
Mm,
back to
mm.
breathing, concentrate on your breath. When you feel like you want to run away, just concentrate on your breath.
Yeah,
And some of them said, well, that really helped. And then afterwards, I said, I loved that so much. I didn't think I would.
sure.
And I really want to do it again. So it's just lovely, really lovely to have those local, competitions, to just get people doing things, not
Yeah.
necessarily to do, to go on to internationals or anything like that, but just to have that wonderful buzz on the odd Saturday, twice a year.
Yes, absolutely. That's yeah, and such a wonderful, wonderful point because one, it's community, it's fun, and to see, like, to cheer people on when they achieve and they push themselves, and they challenge themselves. And I think also to go and support that, and just to go and spend a couple of hours there and just
yeah.
reconnect with it. And then it's a, I suppose we can call it, those are gateway drugs to, to the bigger stuff. And sometimes that's why coaches put very tight knee sleeves on athletes, so they can't run away. They got to stay there. Yeah, that's the thing with equipped powerlifting. Yeah, for sure. Is there?
Oh,
Oh, yep.
yeah, no, no. I tried a bit of equipped. I tried the bench shirt, and I didn't have the bench shirt, and I got, oh, good God, no, I got stuck in it. Um,
Okay. No, it's not fun.
enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but it's just that I don't think I had the right shirt, and I couldn't
Mhm.
get used to that sensation. I thought
Constrict.
there'd be a
Yeah.
bit of give in the end, but yeah,
Not fun.
maybe another.
Yeah. I just in this conversation, I'm getting a sense that there'll be some equipped lifting in the future. So
Oh, I don't know. I did get really stuck. Yeah, really stuck. But yeah,
I think I'm chatting to
it
Tom on Tuesday about it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, I was with Tom at the time, and
Oh,
I got, yeah, and he helped me get it off. I was
okay.
stuck.
Oh, it's terrifying. You got to put on the plastic bags and all of that. So it's a lot of work. I mean, it's
Oh,
cardio.
yeah, we had the plastic bags, and
Mm,
I just think it was doubled up more, and then it just caused it to just swell,
mm.
and
Oh,
yeah,
flip. Okay.
yeah,
So proper stack.
proper stuck.
Okay. Well, we're glad you got out, and because it's difficult to get through airport security like this, um,
Yeah.
we're coming out to South Africa. So when are you coming out?
I got the night flight on Wednesday, so I land on Thursday. So
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. It's
yeah,
going to be fun. Sun City's epic. It's just, you know, I think that if you want quiet walks and also just time with yourself, just to clear the head, to think,
yeah,
it's a beautiful place to be. You can do some wonderful walking there. The gardens are
yeah,
magnificent, from some waterfalls and swinging bridges. It's a lot of fun. Walking along the golf courses. It's a very, very special venue. Breakfasts are outstanding. The coffee's really good. So it's going to
yeah.
be a blast. So,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
really looking forward to it. I'm
Mm.
really looking forward to it. The
Oh.
safari and
Mm.
hopefully the balloon
Yep, the
experience.
Magaliesberg Hot
Yeah,
sunrise balloons, very special.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Absolutely fun. And yeah, no, I mean, just coming up over and we're moving into summer, so the sky is going to be clearer in the morning. Yeah, that's a very special trip to do. So even there's I think they do helicopter flips as well. So
oh
too much fun.
goodness.
Yeah, been working very hard to get someone from Sun City onto the podcast, but they're a bit slack. But we'll chat to them. I'm going to be there on Wednesday morning early. Um,
Yeah,
I told my team we're leaving at 4. We're not. We'll leave at about 5:30. I'll let them
okay.
know a little bit later because they'll be terrified getting up so early. But it's a lot of fun. Is there anyone you'd like to say hi to?
Oh goodness, my kids, Max, Ella, and Nell. Yeah, my mom, and my family, rest of my family.
Awesome.
Yeah,
They're going to be watching. Yeah.
my coach Ethan at Delta Strength, um, Zero W where I train. Um, yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
my chiropractor who keeps
Okay.
me in order, Michelle.
Okay. I think there will be some chiropractors there. We have a fantastic chiropractor, Dr. Simon Lawson here, and I think he's sending some of his team. So
Oh,
if you want, I'll
yeah,
pass his number on to you. If
yeah,
you're
lovely.
the chiropractors to chat to one another if they need to.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'll probably need a bit of a straightening out after the
yeah,
journey.
yeah. A snap, right? Kellogg's Rice Krispies, a snap, crackle, and a pop.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
No,
I'll send.
I see. Yeah, yeah. I'll see Michelle on. I can't remember now.
Mm,
Monday or Tuesday. So she'll just straighten me as much as I can before I
yeah.
go.
It's a game changer, car having a good Cairo. It's proper.
Yeah.
I can walk because of mine. That's just he's been phenomenal.
What
So,
happened to your
uh, no, so I have scoliosis, I have Schroman's disease, I have a compression at L4, L5. Lots of injuries from martial arts over the years and from fighting. So yeah, bodies are, but powerlifting keeps me straight and on the straight and narrow. Ooh, I think we may have lost Angelina. We'll give it a minute or two to see. That wonderful conversation there. We got Daniel Allen up next. We'll just wait to see if we can get Angelina back. And you're back. Okay, cool. Oh, we lost you there for a second. Can you hear me okay? Hi. Hmm. Okay, I think we're losing the connection. I'll send her a message on Instagram. Just a big thank you to Angeline Lane for chatting to us and for her time. Stay with us, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes with Daniel Allen. You've been listening to Coffee and Conversations with Champions, the powerlifting edition for Emmett Media. I'm Nicholas Single. Thank you so much for joining us.